Today we are in the grand ballroom of Ipoh International Convention Centre. So as you can see over here, we have a ballroom of men and women celebrating International Women's Day 2022.
Well, look, firstly, thank you and happy International Women's Day. And this is the official opening and meet the judges for the Top Women in Security ASEAN Region 2022. And Corinne, thank you so much for the local support there in Malaysia for these awards and also as one of the judges. Before I introduce the founder of WISECRA, this is the third year that we've been holding these awards. So the first year we did Singapore, Malaysia, 2021 we did the first ASEAN Awards. So it's great to now be in our third year and launching and kind of getting back into the physical events. And so let me run through and introduce Bonnie Butlin, if I can. And we've got a number of our judges with us. So judges, if you can come up on screen now, I'll keep sharing my screen also, but the idea here is to introduce the judges. We've got pretty much all of the judges on with us. Some are in their cars or between meetings as well. And we've also got the founder of WISECRA, Women in Security and Resilience Alliance from Canada, Bonnie Butlin. Bonnie, with us there? Can you come up on screen for us? Okay, I might have to change my settings because I can't see everyone. There you are. Bonnie, thanks so much for tuning in. And for the local audience there in Malaysia, we've got representations from Singapore. I'm here in Australia. Bonnie's in Canada, Aaron is in Bangkok, Thailand, Xiao Fei is in Singapore, and Shemaine, I'm not seeing you, I'm gonna have to change my screen settings. We've got Alexandra on screen there, she's in Singapore as well, and Francel is in Philippines. Shemaine, are you on with us? No. Okay, so Bonnie, maybe a bit of a background on WISECRA and the awards, and we've been running these virtually as well, so we're quite familiar with this platform as well. Yeah, just WISECRA and the initiatives that you've been doing with women in security and resilience.
For sure, thank you, Chris. We started the Women in Security and Resilience Alliance in 2015. And we've grown to 60 women in security and resilience organizations connected into our network around the world. And we came to the realization that there weren't any real international platforms to recognize women in security and cybersecurity. So we thought we'd get together and try to develop some kinds of awards for women specifically, with partners on the ground in different regions. And so it started when we were invited to some European awards, and it was so successful we enjoyed facilitating it in the manner that we did so much that it's actually spread to different regions now and has been really successful, including with Chris and our organizers on the ground in the ASEAN region. But we have awards in Canada, Latin America. We've had the ceremonies in India and Africa, New Zealand, and so it's been really well received everywhere and universally needed is what we're hearing from people. And so it keeps growing every year, and we're just delighted to have women recognized and be able to join a cohort of successful women in security with other women around the world.
Well, I think that follows on. So we initially started with cybersecurity in Singapore, and then we did Malaysia. There was also a Philippines awards, and that's where we have an ASEAN channel. So we thought it better to recognise ASEAN as the collective 10 countries, as the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. And we are, it's great to be able to pick up countries like Cambodia representation. We had a judge from Cambodia last year. So that is the concept here, to recognise women across ASEAN nations, and hence this year's slightly changed where we've tried to get judges from across the region as well. And we've also grabbed some of the winners because that's the other thing. Some of these women stand out so much they kept winning. So it's like, okay, now you have to be a judge and we'll have you a bit more involved. And I think that's the recognition that we're trying to emulate here. So let me just briefly, I'm going to run through just some slides just to have them up on screen, and then we'll have a bit of a Q&A for sort of 10 minutes or so in terms of recognising the judges. I mentioned we've got 7 judges. I may yet find one in Indonesia at the moment. I did reach out to Indonesia, and so we may introduce one or two more, but let me run through these individually. So this is our panel of judges with us. We've got Shemaine Tan. Now, Shemaine is a bit of a regional player. She's here in Australia, former Singapore, and quite active with her cyber risk meetups, but she's the Chief Growth Officer with Securo. And most of you will know Shemaine as a previous winner as well. We've got Alexandra Mertz. She's the Information Security Chief of Staff with GoTo Group, and also a 2020 and 2021 winner as well, Alexandra, so thank you. And we've got Lieutenant Colonel Francil Margaret Tabalupa, also a dual winner from last year, with the Officer of the National Task Force Against COVID-19, and now Commander of the 7th Signal Battalion Army Signal Regiment in the Philippine Army. Francil, thanks so much for joining us today. Your very own there in Malaysia, Dr. Karine Teo Chu, also a dual winner from the previous years in Malaysia and the ASEAN Awards, Chief Strategy Officer with Bond Holdings. Tien Chin Lin, thank you there in Singapore, Director Critical Information Infrastructure, CII Division with the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore. So it's great to have Tien Chin Lin on as a judge. Aaron, and Aaron, I haven't actually practiced your surname, Lee Batulia. I'm sure you say it with a good accent, representing Thailand, Bangkok, and you're the Regional Vice President with Region 13B with ASIS International. So it's great to have ASIS on, and I will talk briefly on to the number of supporters that we have, and ASIS International is one of those. And Huang Xiaofei, who's a fellow with the Singapore Computer Society in Singapore as well. Thank you so much for your time, Xiaofei. And I saw you popped up as a recent winner on regional awards as well. So hence I reached out to you also. Just as an overview of the supporters that we have, again, we have representation from ISACA. I'm an ISACA Sydney member. ASIS International, I'm an ASIS International Sydney member as well. We have IC Squared with Singapore and Jakarta. And I think the lower rows there's a number of sort of boutique women in security industry associations. And I think for women in the industry, if you're not reaching out to sort of the premier sort of international associations, as you definitely should, there's always your local sort of chapters and local groups and meetups that you can reach out to. And, you know, even having, like, say, the OWASP from Jakarta chapter involved, and the Malaysian Women in Security. And then those topper ones there, the ASEAN Region Women in Security Network, and also the ASEAN Chief Information Officers Association. So those are those premier ASEAN associations. And hopefully you can all tap into, there shouldn't be any lack of support in those. And that bottom right one there, Cyber Youth Cambodia, is a perfect example of who we're trying to reach out to as well. We're going to bring on some sponsors this year, more just to support physical events. We're hoping to get some physical events in Singapore and in Malaysia as well. And we'll try to grow this. And we have a number of media partners as well, including IFSEC Global, which is obviously a global network, and our own channels, our Asia Pacific Security Magazine and the like, and the Women in Security Magazine also. Now, we are aiming to have an awards ceremony on the 15th of August in Malaysia, and this is with Cybersecurity Asia. That's at the Sheraton Imperial Hotel in Kuala Lumpur. So definitely welcoming sponsors. And the idea here is to potentially bring in the winners and bring in the judges to this special awards as well. But watch out for that. And it's quite fitting that we are launching officially in Malaysia as well. So with that, the nominations are open and they will close on May the 30th. And then the judges will be busy after that. But look, that's enough from me. That's pretty much an overview of the awards and how they're going to go. I do have the categories. There's about 15 categories on the website. We are looking for sort of leadership, innovation, and mentoring from the nominations. We want to hear about what you've been doing and how you feel that you are contributing to the sector. And then also we've got some students and young professional ambassador awards there as well. So hopefully you can go to the website womeninsecurityasianregion.com, and all of that information is there. So that's enough from me, and I'd like to open up to the panel, and I might even start with some of the winners, Francel and Alexandra, in terms of the experience from last year. Maybe, Francel, could we start with you there in the Philippines? And you've been promoted since you won the last award. So I'm assuming we contributed to that somehow. Was that on your resume when you went for promotion to Commander?
Yes, it is. And it really helps a lot because it's international in scope. So it really puts one up there in the level of distinction. In the Philippines and internationally, there's not too much awards that are given to the security sector. So security in terms of cyber and security in terms of defense. So most of our awards and recognitions are in-house, and probably the civilian sector doesn't even recognize the terminologies that we use for our awards. So this one really puts our name across, shows our ability, our struggles, our efforts, and of course, how we really endeavored to excel. And because of that, it enhances our visibility in the sector, and it leads to an enhanced network as well. So we get discovered, so there are more invitations for speaking engagements, and now I am really honored to be selected as a judge. So thank you very much, Chris, Deboni, and congratulations as well to my co-panelists and judges.
Great, thanks, Francel. It's a great transition. I think it's great to have a representation of government and private sector. Alexandra, maybe to you now there in Singapore, and you're very active in the industry as well, but it helps raise that profile for you?
Yes, absolutely. And I can just echo the words from Francel. And I'm very impressed at how this award evolved. I think in the beginning, we had only one category. Now we have 15. That's incredible. That actually provides a lot better exposure to acknowledge experienced and excellent female in security. So I am very thankful to be part of this initiative, and I look forward to see those new nominations, definitely. In Singapore, I feel that we are still a bit backwards regarding female in security. I still see a big gap. So this definitely helps to provide people exposure.
Great. I have noticed a few more events coming out in Singapore as well, and I think Southeast Asia is one of those. Sometimes, hopefully this will draw out the people. I've already seen, even though the nominations are opening officially today, there's been a couple already. We've had the form open and there's been nominations in, and there are some quite senior ladies coming through this year, I think. So I think the categories will make a difference. The other thing I've always tried to advocate is the scope of security. It's not just cyber, it's the physical, it's the risk and the resilience and the like as well. And Shemaine, are you still with us, or did you disappeared just when I was going to come to you? And Shemaine is one of those, she just published her second book. We've lost her. No, she's off. Okay. I think she was, yeah, no, sorry, we've lost Shemaine Tan, but we saw her briefly. So thanks, Shemaine. I might then turn to Thailand, and that was the other thing. We didn't want over-representation of Singapore this year because Singapore, quite popular. But Aaron, there in Thailand, maybe a bit about what your work is involving personally, but then also ASIS International.
Sure. Well, firstly, morning, everyone from Ipoh. I hope the weather is lovely over there. And welcome to my co-panelists. It really is an honor to be sitting amongst all of you. I've done my research and I'm in awe of some of the things that you've achieved. My role at the moment and why I'm very excited about this is twofold. First of all, as Regional Vice President for ASIS, there is a huge push at the moment to improve and increase our women in security community. And also our diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. And we're seeing a significant increase And that's partly due to personalities exactly like on this panel, people that are showing the way and mentoring and showing a new generation of people what can be achieved. At the moment, we have just over 1,000 subscribers to the Women in Security community, which is about a 5 to 6% increase over the last 12 months, which is relatively significant. So that's great. So I will use a lot of information that I get from here to help improve that. And on a personal level, I'm doing my PhD in the LGBTQ plus rubric, specifically transgender people in the Royal Thai Police. So all of this is really an amazing opportunity for me to learn more about the struggles and also how people are overcoming those issues. And in closing, I suppose the two things I've learned so far in the community is that ambition is not gender specific, it never has been. And cognitive ability is certainly not gender specific and never has been. So really, thanks very much everybody for inviting me, and I look forward to going through all of the nominations.
Great, thanks Aaron. And Xiaofei, I might come to you. Singapore agency, and you recently won some awards yourself. And I take it where are you in Singapore? In the workplace? You need to wear your mask still?
Yep, I'm right in office in between meetings right now.
Yeah. But look, I think something maybe for the potential nominees watching this, what would you be looking for? I mentioned sort of leadership and innovation and mentoring, and I also mentioned you've just won a significant award yourself for the region. What would you be looking for from the nominees, do you think? How would they be thinking when they nominate or is nominating somebody?
I would say that maybe let me phrase the answer in two parts, right? So there are some of the nominees may have taken part before and didn't win. So I do encourage nominees to put their best foot forward, not have the impression that, oh, because I didn't win the last time round, I'm not going to make it this time. Yeah. So that's the first thing. The second part, which I find very important in nomination, is that determination, the perseverance of that nominee to have, battled the odds and taken it upon herself to, prove her ability. I really like what the earlier panelists said, right? There's a certain stereotype, particularly in Asia, around what women can do and cannot do. So I think that is the first thing that comes to mind. I'm a father of two girls, actually, so I have a vested interest in this, actually. But I do want to see women succeed. And from the Singapore Computer Society perspective, we do want to lend a voice to the industry. And really, this day and age, a huge part of the industry is powered by women. So, but I would say that, from a panelist, a judge point of view, I would really encourage women to showcase their abilities, not so much just in terms of their background, how they studied, but more how they contributed to the workplace, to lend a voice, even to their own, circles or colleagues who are doing cybersecurity work. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. And Tin Shin, I'd maybe close with you now. And you're quite a unique judge, not only just with Cybersecurity Agency in Singapore, but your critical infrastructure. You kind of cross between the physical and the cyber and information, hence why you're very good in terms of your scope. You're going to have to be careful, I think. Also, we've had some previous winners from the CSA in the last couple of years as well. So you might have to watch any conflicts of interest, but you're definitely going to get there. Maybe some observations on what you're seeing, because the CSA is quite representative and quite supportive of initiatives like these as well. Have you noticed a change over time, and maybe some of the things that sort of stand out for you for women in security?
Indeed, thanks, Chris. I'll first start off by saying that I'm extremely privileged to be able to do this alongside with so many experienced practitioners with plant knowledge, right? I think this is a first for me, and I really appreciate this opportunity. The second point that I'm making is this: in cybersecurity, the nature of this game, it's literally people versus people. It's not an IT problem, it's not a technology problem, it's not a process problem. All right. So when it comes to people, it's about problem solving. It's about then what is relevant and makes it all the more important is about diversity. Having that diversity is a beyond. I would say that it's beyond a gender thing. It's about diversity. It's about diversity in perspectives, in leadership, in experiences. So what we have been seeing as from a workforce perspective is that with women coming into this whole cybersecurity, needle has shifted. We are seeing better perspectives. We are seeing better ways and means of solving problems. I think this is something which we are very encouraged. So I think I look forward, all right, to the nominees in sharing their journey, in sharing what are the experiences they have come through so far, and what they have done in order to inspire the people around them, all right, to take on this work and to take on this challenge in this field.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for that. That was great. And one of the things I'm thinking aloud is for the nominees is to talk about your aspirations. There's nothing it's not just your achievements, but where do you want to go? I think is something else that we're looking for, particularly even if you're just recently transitioned into the industry or are still a student. What is your career path? Then there's a couple of award categories there for that. Now, finally, we haven't touched on Corrine, but Corrine, I take it you're still with us. Any comments from you before I hand over to you?
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'm actually very happy to see the panel of judges here with us today. So hello all. I think this is the first time all of us are meeting. So it's a great privilege and honor to be part of the panel of judges. And I would echo what Xiaofei said earlier on. I'm hoping to encourage those who have submitted their nomination last year for this award and didn't win. Please do come back. I think the main thing that we have to highlight here is perseverance. So yeah, and we should showcase, we should recognize and acknowledge women's contribution, their journey and their story. And myself personally, I hope to see more nominations from Malaysia this year. So yeah, and I wish all of us success in making sure that this award goes smoothly, and hope to see all of you in Cybersecurity Asia.
Right. And Corrine, just give us a wave because the panel might not know that you're there. I can see you, but that's Corrine right there because this has been recorded as well. So people for playback and a big round of applause for Corrine there locally. How about that? Yeah, nice.
Can I request everyone to do a wave so they know that actually you're actually live here?
Great work. Well, look,
the ballroom is actually divided into 2 sections. So you only see one section. We have another whole section on the other side. So today we're very happy. There's about 200 plus of us. Actually, we targeted 500, but due to the Omicron, a lot of SOP and challenges that came in, and a lot of suddenly get 2-line test kit yesterday or today. So that's why. So, but no matter what, I think today is a great success. We are all here today, and yeah.
This is great. So thank you so much. On that note, we'll let you get back onto your schedule there locally. To the judges and to Bonnie as well. Thank you so much for your time and tuning in, and to Shemaine who popped up and disappeared, but I will catch up with her as well. We almost have every judge on at the same time, which is a shame. So thank you so much, Corrine. That was absolutely great. And on that note, I'll finish the session.
Thank you. Happy International Women's Day from us.
Beautiful. Thanks. Happy International Women's Day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.